Hello everyone, this is Vathrin. I would just first like to say that I am not new to YouTube. I've been on YouTube for a couple of years now on a different username which is dedicated to the autistic community. I was going to post this video on there, but like I said, it's dedicated to the autistic community and I don't really want to cross my topics here, so I just created a new username altogether. If you want to know that username, don't really have any videos on there, but I have some great links to videos that other people that I like. So if you want to know that username, feel free to ask me. Anyway, this is also my one of my first videos that I'm actually this is my first video that I'm talking about any topic on my own. So bear with me a little bit. Uh, my topic for this video is agnosticism and basically why I feel that it's irrational. Not, or I guess irrational is kind of a harsh term, but why I see it as not being real when it comes to religion. Um, Agnosticism is just what I would call a fluff term. And really, it's just a nice way of trying to stay neutral, sort of like Switzerland, if you will. While you may think you're being rational, you're really not. And while it sounds good, all you're really doing is just trying to please everybody. On one hand, the believers are okay with you because you don't necessarily deny God, which kind of leaves it open for interpretation that you're either a closet believer or someone who's more willing to be convinced by God than others, maybe. And on the other hand, you claim agnosticism because you want atheists to be okay with you in the sense that you don't necessarily just subscribe to organized religion or any sort of common concept of God, if you will, if you believe in God at all. Uh, a common misconception that I find is that people will say that to be agnostic is to not have proof either way that God exists or not. But in reality, that's just a nice way of saying atheist. See, every religion or belief structure has a wonderful little umbrella, if you can imagine an umbrella right here above my head. So if you have, let's say for example, you have the term Christian or Christianity, and underneath this Christianity umbrella, you have all the different sects, and this works for any sort of umbrella for any sort of belief structure or religion. So let's just say we have the Christianity umbrella, and underneath that, all the subsets will follow. So you have Christianity here, and then underneath the umbrella are Catholicism, Lutheranism, Baptists, Methodists, Evangelicals, Episcopalians, so on and so forth. Another example would be, say, take paganism for example. You have the pagan umbrella, the paganism umbrella here. And there are many, many dozens, maybe even hundreds of religions that will fall under this umbrella term. A few of them, to name an example, that are more common in today's society are neo-paganism, Wicca, Druidism, shamanism, Asatru, eclectic paganism, so on and so forth. The point is that you kind of see what I'm getting at. In a similar way of those umbrella terms, calling yourself an agnostic is really just putting yourself under the umbrella of atheism. I'm not saying by any means that atheism is a religion, but in essence, an atheist is just someone who does not believe in God. Um, so calling yourself an agnostic is more like just saying, I'm an atheist, but I don't want to say the word because I don't want anyone to hate me. Or it could also mean, I'm a theist, but I don't want anyone who's an atheist, that might be my friends or anyone else, to look differently upon me, so I will kind of claim a middle ground, so it's open for interpretation. Um, but really, if you go by the definition that you don't have enough proof either way to believe in God or not, what you've really done is just saying, by that definition, is that calling yourself agnostic is just saying that you don't have enough proof to believe in God. And if you don't have enough proof to believe in God, then you don't believe in God. And that makes you an atheist. Because being an atheist doesn't necessarily mean that you know for sure that there is no God. It simply means that you don't have enough evidence to believe in God. And if you don't have that kind of evidence, then you're an atheist. And that's what agnostics have proclaimed on one part. But the fallacy of the agnostic stance is that it doesn't necessarily have to work the other way around. Obviously, yes, you can prove a negative, but calling oneself an atheist doesn't necessarily mean that one can prove or one tries to prove a negative. But that's another issue that I won't get into right now. But you don't have to claim to be able to prove a negative in order to qualify as an atheist. But that's just why I see agnostic, when it comes to terms of religion, as being irrational. Because either someone has enough evidence to believe in God or they don't. Someone's either a theist or an atheist. So calling oneself an agnostic really means nothing in terms of what you believe. If anything, it just means that you're a coward who's afraid to say what you really believe. And certainly there are people like myself who argue to prove a negative, and people like me who try to prove a negative aren't more or less atheists than people who claim to be on the fence, like agnostics do. Um, it simply means what I've been saying all along. You don't have enough evidence to believe in God. And if you don't have enough evidence to believe in God, then you don't believe in God. And if you don't believe in God, then you're an atheist. Therefore, self-proclaimed agnostics are atheists. Anyway, that's all for me. Peace out, everybody.